And we are live.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Bassett.
Welcome to episode 142 of Behind the Toolbelt of TC Backer Construction. And we are not doing an intro today. We're
I was
going
going
to
to
switch
say,
things up
are
a
you
little bit, man.
going to sing the intro? Or, I mean, you should know.
Listen, you better put Vic on here, bro, because I'm not a singer.
Eric was here. I know he hears that shit in his sleep.
Right.
Yeah, where's he at?
I know he just got done with his live, I think, or he might even still be on.
That was actually
I was in there
perfect.
checking him out.
Right. I thought there was going to be a conflict of interest, but we have tonight two very special guests. We have Heather Hitchcock, CEO of Royal Roofing, mother, entrepreneur, kick-ass woman in the trades. And we have Joe Salowitz with Lead Scout.app. So,
father, entrepreneur.
That's right.
Do I get the whole string too?
Matriarch. You're not as good looking as she is. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah.
Appreciate that intro, though. Thank you.
No problem. So, which one of you guys want to start here? You want to?
Buddy.
Yeah, of course. I'll introduce myself. So, Joe at Lead Scout. I live in Michigan. I got a family of two little boys. We have a lot of fun. We like to go hiking and all that jazz. But Lead Scout, you might recognize us. Our logo a lot of times is on the opening credits of this show. So happy to be here. We've been partnered with TC Backer and partnered with Behind the Toolbelt for a while now.
Oh yeah.
And it's just great to be here.
Yes, it is, and I'm glad you guys are here. It's been a long weekend. I know we had a hell of a time. My first impression of Denver was not a good one. We missed our first flight.
Oh.
And then we barely caught our second flight.
Is this your first time in Denver?
Very first time ever.
No kidding.
Okay, so we got to do the planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
Okay, so caught our second flight, right? Ended up in Detroit. Watched people go off the plane. Watched people come on the plane. Cool thing was that it was Southwest. We got to move up front. Actually, our bags were together. We got to sit together, so that was cool. So I'm starting to come around like, okay, maybe this is working out the way it's supposed to work out, right? Then this was prior to Jana almost getting arrested by TSA because she almost punched some lady in the face, which was kind of cool, which tells you how rough it was for her to get fired up like she did. Anyhow, I walked her down off the cliff there a little bit, because I'm the one that always stays calm. Anyhow, we finally get to Denver, right? We're like, now where? Where do we pick our bags up? Southwest this way, Southwest that way. So we had to flip a coin. Screw it, we're going over that way. Went that way, couldn't find it, came the whole way back around.
The Denver airport is a real, and I think there's stories. I think there's like a deeper story with Denver airport.
I don't know.
Like aliens and stuff.
It's crazy.
No, there really is arrows saying Southwest this way and Southwest.
Oh, is there really?
For real, as soon as we got out there, yes, it was Southwest this way and Southwest. So we took the wrong one, right? So now I'm like, oh shit, now we're going to lose our shit because I loaded up all of the studio equipment in a bag, right? Just like a carry-on bag. And the beginning part, okay, so we can only bring a 40-pound bag to Frontier. That was our first flight that we missed. So this is working out the way that it's supposed to work out anyhow. So we get here. So then, like, someone's like, you got to take a train somewhere. And we're like, what? What do you mean a train? Like, I'm used to an Uber or something, right? Anyhow, we get a train, got off the first one, got back on, got off the second one, got back on, got off the third one, got back on. I think the fourth one was the right one, I think. Maybe not. Anyhow, so then we had to get on a bus to take us over to Hertz. Well, then we got off at like Hertz members rewards spot, which I am not a Hertz member rewards person. Okay, so then we're standing in line for probably another 30 minutes before we find this out. So then finally we got back on the bus to go probably only 50 yards to the place where someone could have just told us you need to walk over here. So we did. Yes, but they hooked us up. We're driving a all blacked out Land Rover. This thing is hot.
Yeah, it's a nice car. I saw you pull up in that.
Yes.
Is that how you usually roll?
No comment. But it's hot.
I just assumed that was normal.
But it's hot. But we made it here. We're here. I finally got the stresses starting to come out of my back right now because now we're doing Behind the Toolbelt. We're with Heather, we're with Joe, we're with Baker, we're with all our people.
Things are coming together.
Yes, things have come together exactly the way they were supposed to. So anyhow, this is all new equipment.
You're gonna have to enjoy the way back. I hope that works out. First
That's
of all,
going
you,
to be kind
you
of
can't
stressful too.
you can't blame your Detroit problems and your Pennsylvania problems on Denver. I feel like that's unfair.
Horseshit. Denver sucked when I first got here. For the first 2.3 seconds, Denver really sucked. But now it's war. You're from Texas.
I'm from Texas. Yeah.
Right. Tell us about yourself. I'm not going to take this hostage.
Yeah,
Tell
no.
us about yourself.
Well, my name's Heather Hitchcock. Like you said, I own Royal Roofing and Construction of Texas out of Houston. I have 3 children, Hayden, Carter, and Asher. And
No kidding. My oldest name is Asher.
come on.
Yeah.
Asher Eli. That's
Oh
my
my
little
goodness.
dude.
Oh,
My
that's
homie.
awesome. Such a good name.
Yeah, it's a great name. Good job on that. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm relatively new to the industry. I just celebrated 2 years for my company in September. Absolutely love this industry. Wish I would have found it sooner, but man, I'm blessed. I'm enjoying it. I'm excited. It's been awesome.
That leads to like the $1 million question. How did the roofing industry find
Oh
you?
man, it was so crazy. So I have been in the health and fitness industry my whole life. I owned a gym. I had some crazy life circumstances happen through divorce that basically forced me to figure out what I was going to do really, really fast. I had a buddy who had a small residential roofing company. He brought me on site, showed me an insurance scope, told me how much it cost to put a roof on.
Right. Cha-ching, right? Yeah.
I'm like, what am I missing? Like, I'm going to sell roofs for a living.
What's
So
that?
I worked for 3 different contractors for about 9.5 months. They were super shady, taking advantage of people, lying, just not what I was trying to be about.
Yes.
Started my company.
Right. Hence why you're here today.
Exactly.
Because this is about doing the next right thing, and everybody here today is about doing the next right thing, and it's been great. Okay, so you've been in it about 2.5 years now, right? And so give us some of your greatest moments and some of your worst moments.
Oh, I actually have 2 perfect stories.
Okay, great.
Worst moment, this is actually really good. Worst moment would be my absolute first roof. First roof, I had my materials ordered like 6 days early. I'm a chick, I'm way organized. The suppliers love me because it's just different, right? And so roof gets torn off, my first roof, remind you, okay? I'm still like, I have no business. What am I doing? So, and it's a little, it was probably 36 squares, little 1-story walkable. And they have the roof torn off, and they're still in materials. And this is my first roof. So I'm like, it's 11 a.m. I'm like, hey, this is kind of crazy. 11 a.m. And so again, my first roof. So I didn't have a relationship yet with this contractor.
Exactly.
So I call my sales guy and I'm like, hey, we're just sitting here. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? I have an order that I placed with you. Well, fast forward about 2 hours. They don't have the color shingle in that I have approved for my first. Have we gotten that point yet?
Yes.
Homeowner's not there. Roof is torn off. Crew is sitting in the grass, and I am like panicked. An inside sales guy saved the day, subbed a product that looked the same. I made an executive decision, put the roof on. Man, it was stressful. So that would be the worst one.
Okay.
It was bad. It was really bad. And and honestly, that was a moment because it was so bad, it would have confirmed that I really had no business had I not persevered. Like we've not sure, right? My best moment would probably be a month and a half ago. I did my first big, beautiful Decra metal roof on this incredible $2 million waterfront property. Crazy. Just so you understand.
Oh yeah.
It's just a whole different feeling of awesomeness. Yes. And to see, and I'm doing, a total I'm doing gutters, we're doing fascia, repainting, and so it's like I'm watching this beautiful.
Yes.
It's very fulfilling.
Love it. It is, right? Satisfying. Right. And that makes you want to come back and do more like this, right? So what I was thinking was, do you have any salespeople or any other people that work for you?
I do. I have one sales guy that's been with me since like month 7 of my company. Okay. His wife worked with me in the health and fitness world, so that's how we got together. And I actually hired my old boss, who called me about a month ago, begging to come work for me. And she's incredible, and she is coming on as a commercial division manager. Nice. And got to get busy with some women's certification, some government commercial projects, and we're
awesome.
Got a new focus. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm thoroughly impressed because this isn't easy. right? Being in a male-dominant trade, I guess, industry, and I mean, that's so cliche, but you're killing it. I see you all over social media. It's actually giving me goosebumps right now. Like, I'm so proud of you and so happy for you because, listen, I know this isn't easy, and I've made a lot of dumb hacks along the way. When you were speaking about like the worst moment that's happened to you, one of my thoughts, and it was probably an arrogant thought, and don't mean to that, but I was like, man, wait till you do this for a while because that's pretty wild. Wait till your guys know you're wrong.
I know.
Or something. Yeah, something because it happens.
I've heard.
It happens.
I've heard.
Yes, it's happened to us. I mean, and it can get worse and worse things happen, but you just make it right. You do it right. Like you said, you made a command decision, you persevere, you persevered, and it turned out to be okay, and it was a lesson learned. So whatever went wrong, I'm sure it won't happen again.
No, and I've had a lot of lessons
No
since,
doubt.
but that's just my favorite.
So just surround yourself around.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. I tried to do this too long by myself, and I think for probably the first 7 years of business, I tried to do everything myself. I mean, everything from ordering to everything. I was the service department. I was everything. Okay, well, come to find out, I was the bottom man. Now we grew substantially, but I was killing myself, right? And also, I was like telling everybody how to think. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't showing them how to think. Right? Do you know what I'm saying? And from 7 years then to now, we've been in business almost. We just celebrated 14 years in July 17th was 14 years. So the second half of my career has been so different. Like I've surrounded myself with guys like Chris and Joe and network.
Yeah, I
With
can't.
like so many different people that are actually smarter than me, and I can admit that today. That's probably 50% of the battle.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like surrounding myself with smarter people that are better at things than I am in certain areas that I'm just not so good at or smart at, or nor care to even give a shit about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you kind of get in that position, you can kind of not pick and choose what you want to do, but just be around good people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm here. I'm blessed to be around all you guys. You know?
No doubt.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I tell you what, about 4 or 5 years ago, my eyes were really opened up. Now, we were at a really strong conference. But that's actually where I met Emergency Recovery. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was cool. But that conference really opened my eyes. Where God has opened my eyes. Networking with those guys from all over the country and just, being able to bounce things off of other entrepreneurs that you don't feel threatened by. Right, has been like probably the game changer for me in opening up and being honest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my nugget for the night. So it's all
Good
you
nugget.
know. It's all you know.
Good nugget.
That was it.
That's it.
That's it. Chris, you have a good night.
Uh,
Just kidding.
Yo, I can
Just
actually.
kidding.
Now I didn't hear anything that entire time. All I heard was singing.
singing.
Damn
Yeah.
it, I know. I was trying to
I
speak
think
up.
the emotion of the song really matched the emotion of what we were talking about. That's all you needed to know.
If
Ty, you'll have to
came
fill
out
me in
with like our
on that.
lips.
I couldn't hear
It was
nothing.
maybe the most poignant thing I've ever heard
Shit,
in my
that
life.
probably
I'm sorry you
means-
guys all missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was a really profound moment. You didn't get to hear my stories?
I
So,
didn't. I didn't.
Oh, you
I
did.
finally could hear you guys.
What are you doing over there?
Bro, I've been trying to just reply to people and
Oh,
we share to a lot of different groups and stuff, and I was trying to explain to somebody in a new group that I joined what we do, what we're about, all that kind of stuff, provide any kind of content for anyone in the industry, they can reference back to stuff. We got great people that hop on the show all the time, that provide, their own value in their own separate way. We don't just put roofing contractors, we put marketers, we put all kinds of people on the show, man, a wealth of knowledge on these episodes. So I will definitely, I hope to hear more about you, Heather, and what you did. I heard in the very beginning that the first 2 years, so congratulations. After that, I couldn't really hear nothing.
That's it. Well,
well, I mean, you want to start over?
I'm going to see if we can do some sound adjustments. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, so
Don't mind.
I mean, that sounded like it was a great song.
It was.
it was loud, great song.
Everyone's clowning me in the comments right now, saying that I was in there singing. You guys don't want to hear me sing. Can't hear. If you guys can hear me, there's no audio. No audio. There we go. Yep, we're good now. We're good.
Commercial. So the woman I hired is just she's someone that's going to execute all the things that have been in my mind that I just don't have the time to do because I'm ordering and customer service.
You're the CEO,
Oh.
the chief everything officer.
Yes. When I started my company, I had a goal of 1 roof a month.
Mm-hmm.
So within 3 months, I was doing 2 to 4 a week. I had no idea what could happen. 3 months.
No kidding.
No leads, no door knocking. One time I door knocked when I changed my sales guy. He got like 16 houses on the street. That's it. It's been
You said
God's
this was
favor.
2 years ago?
2 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I totally just lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh,
You had ramped up to four jobs a week?
I did not have an infrastructure in place to support like systems and processes because I had no idea what I was building. I was just trying to pay my bills and I thought I'll sell a roof or two. And very fast things change. So all of that to say, I'm putting the things in place so that I can still scale appropriately. This girl is kind of the piece of the puzzle.
Totally understood.
Yeah.
Totally understood. I did that early on as well. I brought a guy in. So I used to work 12 hours a day. I was a mechanic. I roofed inside, windows, all that stuff. So I would do that all day with like a 2 or 3 man crew. And then I brought my best friend in who still actually works for me to kind of like help with the paperwork 2 or 3 days a week, like pay bills, send out estimates, things like that. So I wouldn't have to work 10, 12 hours a day to come home and work another 6 hours, right? Because that's what I was doing, literally killing myself and landing more work. And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't keep up. And then I was still trying to work through couch. And it was just a lot until, like I said, until I started to surround myself around people that I knew could help us grow. And now it sounds to me like you're kind of starting to find like your purpose, right? Like you're bringing in really good people. And then when you step outside of yourself, because now it's not about just paying the bills anymore, right? Now you have responsibilities. These people are your responsibility now, right? Right. So now it's like you need to start focusing on like making sure your dream's big enough for their dreams to fit in, right? You know what I mean? And honestly, that's my purpose. That's my why. That's why I'm here today. And it's like, okay, so like we went from putting people on the books, right? So no 1099s, all W-2s, right? So what comes along with that is
such a huge shift.
Unemployment, right? Unemployment, workers' comp insurance, anybody gets fucked up, I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to be taken care of, right? Health insurance came shortly after that, and then many years later we offer 401k.
Right on.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, right, like when you get a salesperson in or somebody like Chris Baker, it's like, okay, what do you want to do? And when he comes to me with ideas and stuff, it's our jobs as leaders to like support that, right? Not shut it down. It's not my way or the highway. It's kind of like we need to listen to everybody and take into consideration what they're saying. Especially if we hire them to do a job, let them do their fucking job, right? Get out of the way. Right? Yeah. So that's what
the
this helped
mindset.
us.
Yeah, the mindset shift when you bring on your first W-2 is
right.
So that's what do you have any W-2s that you bring, or is this gonna?
We're all 1099 still. I mean, I just honestly restructured. So like you said,
really cool.
I'm connected to amazing people.
I've been avoiding it for a decade.
Okay, well then you're making me feel better.
Listen, I'm still unemployed, technically on paper.
Okay, good.
Right,
okay,
so don't feel bad.
Okay, then I don't feel bad.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, you're right. The things you talked about, I mean, there is tremendous value, clearly. So that is definitely something, to have on the horizon.
Oh, yeah.
Way
goals.
down the road.
Right,
No,
goals. Right, goals. You know what I mean? Goals. Because it all starts out, okay, so there's like different levels. First level is like survival.
Yes.
Right? And then the second like level is like keeping up with the Joneses. Then like the third level is like purpose. Like we start to develop like what our purpose was, why we were given this this blessing, right? Like we were given this opportunity to not just improve your life, but your own lives. Like you were talking about building that job, like watching that thing come to fruition, and those people being so absolutely freaking happy, ecstatic, right? Which just is giving me goosebumps right now because I can totally relate to like that feeling, right? So like you're living on that high for life, like I found my calling finally, right?
Yeah.
Well, then you go a little deeper, you peel another layer off, and it's like you start looking at the people around you, right? You start watching like what they're driving, right?
So-
and then a month or two goes by, and you see them get a new fucking car, and you're like, I do that.
Yeah.
Like you don't say that out
Right.
loud, you know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
really, you did, but
Right.
you did.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Like people are having babies and shit at our place today. Like they're having fucking families. Right?
Yeah.
Think of two girls pregnant in their office. Like I don't think most people would even think about shit like that, but I'm thinking they trust a fucking retard like me, a knucklehead like me to have babies. Like
I feel you, brother. I do.
Like they're fucking having babies. Like, do they really know who I am? Like, look at Chris, because he's like, he knows me. He's like, that fucking dude's a crazy motherfucker.
I know.
Like,
So
I
Ty,
have a question for you.
No, go for it. Yes.
I have a
Chime
question
in,
for you.
please.
So, and I'm sorry if you guys already covered this, then I missed it.
No.
But with you being 2 years into business, me and Ty always say that like when you're involved heavily in your own business, you're usually your own biggest critic, right? So there's very little things that someone else is going to tell you about yourself or your company that you don't already know. What do you think is the biggest challenge being fresh in business? What is something that you think is your biggest spot for improvement?
My biggest spot for improvement is systems and processes for duplication purposes so that my salespeople can have the same success. I'm a different breed. Okay. So my salesperson is not going to have the same success I am. Because we're different.
Yes.
And I've managed to do what I've done, but I need to be able to duplicate it, and I'm not there. So I feel like I'm also not fully taking care of my employee because he's not me, but he works for me because he wants me to be, and so that is my biggest, like,
You're
I'm
on the right
focused.
track, man. You're on the right track. You're on
I'm
the
on
right
the right track? Okay,
Absolutely.
good. This is encouraging.
Yeah.
I would do that, man. I mean,
my God,
what have we been trying to do for the past 5 years?
Make everything easily.
Put the
duplicated,
process on
right?
paper.
Document everything, right? So
Yeah.
it'll cut the learning curve in half. Whether you have PowerPoint presentations, so then like when somebody new starts, like a salesperson, right? So document it, whether it be accounts payable, accounts receivable, takeoffs, how to do a fucking takeoff.
Yeah.
Anything. You know what I mean? Like document.
Okay, can I just be honest though? Like that overwhelms the crap out of me. Like
It takes time. We're
feel,
still working on it.
but I just feel like that's not my gifting. I've really recently realized I am an executor. I suck at, like, I will make my life 20 million times harder and
This is
struggle.
you know what you are. You're the visionary.
I need help with
And you need to hire,
implementers.
yes.
That's the girl I just
integrators.
hired.
You need
Watch.
to hire the integrators.
Every super successful business out there has the visionary and the integrator.
Yes.
And a bunch of other people.
Of course.
But they have those two linchpins, and it has to be those two people. You never see a business that there's just one visionary.
Okay.
And no integrators.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, there has to be that person that steps out and says, hey, we're gonna do all these millions of things, and then they walk off stage and don't do anything. They have to hand it to somebody, right? And you need that person who's the Tim Cook at Apple, who's like, we're gonna go do all this stuff, and then he can actually integrate it, right? The person that actually has all those processes and it's really detailed and something like that. In my business, that's me. I'm the detail guy. I'm not the visionary, right? But my co-founder, Chris Hofstra, many of you have met, like, he is the visionary. And he will sit down and he'll dream with you, right? But then he needs that help to go ahead and make that happen. That's where I come in, and the leads of other people.
Right.
That's good. Well, I am hoping this woman who was my old boss, that's what she did. I am really, she's already blown my mind. So I'm really hoping.
Don't try to be good at what you're bad at.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm
for
learning.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, take it one step at a time. When they say practice is first, that's exactly what they need every single one. And that's what we've tried to apply. A lot of the people that work for us don't even know they do that on a daily basis.
Wow.
They do it, but they don't know why they do it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it sure does.
Yeah, and Baker knows why, because I met I know him because I know his mom through people that we know through
Okay.
PRW.
Okay.
Right. So, yes. So take it easy. Don't get overwhelmed.
Okay,
Right.
you're making me feel better.
Yeah,
'Cause I was
no.
feeling like a loser.
Listen,
like, oh, I'm
listen.
You're on the right track.
You
You're early.
will
You're ahead of the
not-
curve.
Yes, you will not have to pay the dumb taxes.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's people like me who have paid the dumb taxes that is only a phone call away.
Okay.
Right? Do you know what I'm saying? There wasn't fucking Facebook group.
Yeah.
There wasn't conferences, right?
Right?
Dude, listen, it was horrible. My truck was my office. Like always. Like, and I'm sure it is
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Like literally up until it's still my office, isn't it? Like I can't get out of the field. I'm still in production. Right? You should see my office. It's fucking
The
mess.
best.
Seriously, dude, stacks. These guys are all like tech savvy and shit. I got a fucking day
Old
player.
school. Yeah.
Right?
Everybody needs like a room that doesn't have windows so they can just put the dirt in.
Right,
You know?
right.
I'm
So
a pretty
don't feel
organized person, but there's a room that I've got. that
Not
is
at all.
Very disorganized.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it needs to be. I need that space.
Yes.
That's good. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I feel encouraged.
Oh my
My-
god.
my-
You were doing so good. I'm jealous.
Oh.
My
I'm
Achilles
envious.
heel in business is just not letting go. Ty, you said earlier that was the big blocker,
Mhm.
and I don't know if you did like took a while to realize that. But
Yes.
I've realized it, and I sometimes don't do anything about it.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Just to know that hey, I'm not good at that. I need to let go of it.
Yes.
Bring somebody else in.
Mhm.
I mean, at the same time, you also have to balance the balance sheet,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You got to know like when you can hire
Right.
and can you afford it, and when you take that person on, especially a W-2 if you're doing healthcare, if you got a family and they're giving birth, like that becomes an adoption process. And
Seriously.
you're not buying into
Yeah.
like a 6-month contract, which is
That's
scary,
Yeah.
right? So if you hire that W-2 person that's going to support you and fill the gap, you got to kind of think in the 2 to 5 year plan. Can I afford this person for the long term? What am I committing to?
Right. Well, and it goes to sometimes you got to spend money on it.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to hire someone. It's going to cost you money, cost some training.
Yeah.
But what are they going to bring to
How do
the
they
table
multiply?
so then you can 2x?
Yes.
Right? But this is the other thing too that I was thinking about too. I see a lot of early companies start delegating too soon.
Okay.
There's a happy medium. You know what I mean? Know everything that you can about your business, so then they don't have you by the balls either
Yeah.
at some point in time. So if something does happen when you're a little bit smaller, we're in a little bit different shape because we've cross-trained just about everybody in every aspect of our business for one of those reasons. Because what if they do leave?
Yeah.
What if they want to go on vacation? What if they got to go on paternity leave?
Really
Because I got 2 of them coming up that will have to leave for 4 to 6 weeks, right? But know everything you can and just keep it simple. Do what works for you. Your mind might not work like other people's. Just because I run my business my way, it's because that's the way I was probably forced to do it, right? You know what I mean? Because it's not a good idea. Well, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So just don't put yourself up. My God, 2 years, right?
2 years, no website.
Right, and no
No
website.
kidding.
I'm
So
getting
those
one
are not
right
around
now.
for a while.
Right, Rhino. I'm getting a website right now through Rhino Strategic
Yeah,
Solutions.
yeah,
They're building me
yeah,
an
that's great.
incredible website. I do it.
Yes,
But yeah, no website.
that's awesome.
Another
Wait
thing
till all that
I
happens.
can throw
Dude,
in,
that is such an exciting
Oh,
part of your business, right?
well, I'm in a very intentional phase right now. Like I said, I was intentional of surviving.
Mm-hmm.
That's what started and propelled the momentum.
Right.
And now that I'm like, whoa, this is like a legitimate industry where there's a need for the excellence that my company does
Yes.
bring
Mhm.
to our community that was lacking, which is why I started my company. And it's just been, I mean, I just feel like I'm just getting started. Like I
Yes.
have so much excitement. Like I'm kind of
Yes.
weirdo. Like I just feel it,
Yes, yes.
like greatness.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
You know?
and keep that momentum. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's when good, great things happen. And the one thing that I've learned too is always, first and foremost, always remain humble. No doubt about it. That's number one.
well, I've already lost everything once before, so
Yeah.
that was my biggest thing. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yep, seriously. Done and did.
yeah.
Shit, you lost my train of thought. What?
Sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. This actually, I'm talking way too much. You should be talking.
No.
Tell us more
Yeah.
about that. You said,
Yes.
well, you guys both just said,
Oh.
you lost everything.
Yeah.
And that's how to get past ego. things.
Yeah. Well, when I told you that how I got started roofing, I wasn't going to go into like a whole thing because But really what happened was I was in a multi-level marketing company, and out of 600,000 distributors, I was the top 150 income earner.
No kidding.
And after 30 some years of this company being what it was, we got an email and stated that 6 weeks from now we were losing our income out of the blue. Yeah, crazy. So they went under investigation. No, that they were a supplement company. FTC investigated them rather than fight, aka pay money. They folded. We lost everything. It was terrible. I mean, this was residual income for life, willable to your children, my identity, everything, and I lost it like that. And so
you got to go all in with those companies, so you can't be halfway in.
Correct.
To be that successful.
Correct. But in that process, because I went downward spiral of depression and hell, but I realized that it was like all about me. Like I was, me. And when I got into roofing and what's funny with all of this for me is I honestly, I'm not saying this to be like, oh, I can't take credit. I can't take credit. I'm a hustler and I'm going to show up. But dude, prior to this was deathly afraid of heights. I couldn't even stand on an escalator
said roofing,
without my body involuntarily shaking. And so for me to be doing what I'm doing, it is only God. And so it keeps me humble. And now it's just blowing my mind.
Was that a concern of yours when you stepped into roofing to say, I'm really afraid of heights?
I mean,
how did you get past that?
But no, like I saw the money and I was so desperate for money. I mean, I needed money. I'm a single mom of 3. Like I'm mom and dad.
You need to make it work.
I had to figure out a way. So, I mean, I would stand, I remember, it was like 6 on 12, and I'd be in the driveway like, help, Lord, please give me the strength. I mean, seriously, like, I'm not kidding, because I was so scared. But I always say, do it scared. Fear is a liar. And guess what? I walk steep roofs now. I'm not afraid of heights. It's such a mental.
You overcame it.
Yeah. So I just say, like, fear is such a liar. Like, people say that as a cliche phrase, but if you really listen to it in that example of I was afraid of heights and now I'm not, your mind is so powerful, and it can either limit you or propel you.
Absolutely.
So
we get, like Chris touched on, like we do your own worst enemy or critic, and I can get in between my head, in between my ears as well, and doubt myself. Like like we were talking about earlier, when we first got here, like my self-esteem when I walked in this first with the conference today, I just felt like I had my ass beat. I didn't deserve to be here. Blah blah blah. I'm tired. I can still have those moments too where I'm just tired. Right. And then I called, made a couple calls, and kind of they yelled at me and told me to get my head out of my ass. And here we are. We're going live, and but yes, that's where help comes into play too. Always talk like a problem. What's shared is a problem cut in half. You know what I mean? And always ask for advice. But make sure where your advice is coming from is a solid source. But the people that I've seen and watched you with today, dude,
I'm so blessed.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I know.
Can you imagine how unmotivated we would, at least I can speak for myself, how unmotivated we'd be if there was no friction, if there was no low point?
No, you're right.
I think life would be so boring. I would be unmotivated. If that's the stuff that makes
no,
the stuff.
1,000%.
The friction is what makes the highs amazing, right? And you have to be there. The moments that I shine the best, I was just telling you about this. I feel like building a business, and I'm still in the process of that, building Lead Scout up. That whole thing, I shine the most when I'm in between the waves, when I'm in the trough of the wave, right? Or when I take that deep breath, I get a little bit of air, and then I go underwater again, right? And that is the tension point where you have to reside when you're building a business, especially when you're doing a lot of things. But the tension point of being underwater and you just feel like you're never going to come up for breath, and then you get that breath, right? That is where you shine.
Yeah.
Amen. That's good, though. I like that. The trough.
The trough of the waves.
Yeah.
I'll write a book someday that's called the trough.
There you go. Yeah, I like that. That was good.
I need to have more friction.
Well, they say I've heard there's healthy friction. Especially between people.
Yeah.
Like there can be healthy friction. Believe it or not. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but you need it. We need to go through the ups and downs in life to be where we're at today. And honestly, if it wasn't for the mistakes that we made, and this is the other thing when you hire people too, you almost have to let them make mistakes in order for them to learn.
To learn.
Yeah.
That's a good reminder because, it's really easy for me to look at my own life and be like, I am who I am because of the terrible mistakes I made. But it's easier to not, or harder to, in work and business, give that your employee that same grace, right?
It is
I
tough.
think that
But that's
about that
powerful.
all the time, especially with children too. Thinking about the trials you went to as a child or what have you.
That changed the way I parent.
But then here's the catch, right? Is it made you who you are today? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty satisfied with where I ended up, and I feel pretty good about where the direction I'm going in life. And then I think, well, I don't want my kids to go through all that friction that I went through, so I try to create the bubble wrap. And then I think, wait, should I let them go through that friction so that they can get there too?
Yes.
It's always such a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Dude, the bubble wrap. I like that. You need to write a book about that too.
Yeah, that'll be the second edition.
Overprotecting. Yes.
Drop the waves
wrap.
and then the bubble wrap.
Dude, where do you come up with this shit at?
I'm just a walking dictionary of terrible analogies.
I love it though. The bubble wrap.
Dude, I got one of the best stories out of all the guests that we've had on there, man. He's got a great story, a great past, where you came from and to where you've gotten to today, man.
Are you prompting me to talk through? I'm happy to share. So I did grow up overseas in Tanzania, and I think the indicator of my life growth, I guess let me start at a high level. I've been a constant quitter. Like I quit everything, and that's quitting in kind of a good way. And that I can never do one thing because I'm always so excited about the next thing. And I'm always striving for more. So I'm always trying to get to that next thing. So here's where it starts though. Like being a kid who's growing up overseas, my parents were in literacy work and they were missionaries overseas in Tanzania. It's the East Coast, and I was on this big freshwater lake called Lake Victoria. But we moved all the time. So every single grade I was with new kids, and I was always just trying to kind of find my footing, right? And I think through that experience, what I learned was I needed a rock, or I needed something to hold on to stay steady. And what I found for myself was if you just excel at that time my work was school. So if you just excel at school, everything else will be okay. Like, you might not have a lot of friends, but you might not get along with this person or that person, and you might not have a sports team you can always be, tied to, but you can succeed in academics, right? So that's really where I tried to get on people's side when it came to the teachers. I would try to be a teacher with pet, and I would try to excel at academics, and that was my thing. And that carried me through. And so when we moved back to the States, when it was actually 2001, around September 11th, I distinctly remember, being fresh in the United States, and then being like, what's going on? This is crazy. Came back to Minnesota, the Arctic North, as I like to call it, from the equator to the Arctic North. And I just never fit in. I just never, ever fit in. Even in college, I tried to figure out where's my place, right? I did, go to school and graduated, couldn't decide on a major. Like I ended up just collecting credits together, and then they said, hey, get out of here. Like, you got enough credits, just go. Gave me a diploma, thankfully, right? And I've always just been seeking out the entrepreneurial, like what's that business venture I can do? I found that in Lead Scout, and I've been able to start building this business, and it's been so fulfilling to look back at that experience of moving all over the place and that kind of kinetic energy that I always have, and then applying that now to this awesome thing that I love to do, which is building businesses.
Yeah, no, that's great.
That's awesome.
That is a great story. Now, do you want to explain what your business is?
Yeah, oh, sure. Yeah, I'll touch on it. So Lead Scout is a lead generation application. You can download it on the App Store very, very soon. But right now we just have a web platform, and it's entirely based around trying to help people that are building businesses to establish those sales processes, right? So as you, right? I know, very applicable. And so the way that we do that is we try to give sales teams really bite-sized prospect lists. We've started around job sites. So if you have as you're doing job sites, we give you a bite-sized prospect list around those job sites, and then we'll back that area with direct mail impressions. And then we have our mobile application where people can go out and actually canvas those prospects. And you get data from us and all that stuff too. But it's this really tight prospecting and impression building tool that we are rolling out to sales teams to help them better establish sales processes.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a need for that.
I hope so.
There is.
We've been chasing user feedback, That's basically how we build the product.
Yeah,
So anytime that somebody gives us some good feedback, if you're a Lead Scout user, just send us an email. Like, what should we be doing next? And that's really how we build the product. So we don't try to go explore on our own too much. We do a little bit of that, but we're really following our users' feedback.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what I like the most about it, man, is for anyone out there that's doing like door knocking, door-to-door interactions and stuff, Lead Scout basically warms up your leads for you before you go knock on that door. So it's not just like a cold door knock. You're hitting them with subliminal messages. You're getting a lot of touch points into these homeowners and warming up these leads prior to your salespeople actually going and knocking the door. So it's almost like I know I've seen you somewhere before when you knock on the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you're the contractor who's kind of gotten out of the high growth phase, you're in word of mouth phase right now, Heather, where you're just kind of like, referrals are coming in, like it's super hot, right? But then there's a point where you say, well, I want to grow.
Yeah.
I want to expand to this new geography, or I want to grow to 50 people, right? How do you do that? So the unlock there is, you're going to have to come up with some kind of mature processes to actually do that. You're going to have some dedicated, growth strategies. And a lot of people just say, well, where do I start? Do I download, an app that gives me a bunch of data? Do I, just put more Google ads out there? Like, what do I do? What are the strategies? And that's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I know we use them. The cool thing about it is that one job that you sell in that neighborhood, so that will initiate the campaign to happen. So we have it built into the overhead from that one job that we sold, right? So I don't know, but I'm going to say,
oh wow,
right? So it's already built into it. So now we're getting 20 notes to neighbors. We're sending out 3 postcards and a handwritten note. Hey, and the handwritten note says, hey, did you see Miss Jane or 123 Main Street's roof that we installed on whatever date, right?
oh wow,
Right. So then if your guys do go out and canvas, we like to say scout, because we've turned them into Lead Scout babies and not lead babies, right?
Okay.
So they're not sitting around waiting for the leads, because now we've given them those 20 addresses. Like, look, we've ran a campaign for you on that one job that you sold. We've warmed the neighborhood up for you. So now you're not cold knocking.
Yeah.
So you're kind of warm knocking.
That's good.
And then they've also have the technology to get more information for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we're continuing to build on that. It's a fun process. I come from tech. Like I don't know a lot about home improvement beyond my exposure via Lead Scout, frankly. So I come from the tech world. I've been consulting for over a decade, doing software design and all that stuff. So it's a completely different space. And now I get to spend time with a bunch of roofers. We work with a lot of landscapers. Recently found out that, I think epoxy floor coating, those types of contractors love to use Lead Scout. So it's fun. It's fun to get to know all these little niches in this space. We had this pool contractor come up to us and they downloaded our app and were like, hey, this is cool. I can actually sit on my couch, watch Netflix, and I can just like search your little satellite, view of your map and see all the pools and start to build my leads or my prospects by just looking at the map while I'm watching Netflix. It's like, hey, more power to you. That works for you. That's great.
Right. And your salespeople have the app too. So while they're out there, they're canvassing or scouting the neighborhood and can give, or point out.
That's the most successful way to use it.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't, a lot of people use this just for direct mail, just to like warm up their job site areas, with these direct mail campaigns. And we've really studied like the art of direct mail. So people see us a lot of times as the direct mail service, but we really go beyond that. The best way to use it is in hand with your sales team.
Yes.
Using our mobile app to canvas and to hit those lists. And we're not asking you to do these massive 1,000-person campaigns, right? It's always bite-sized. That's the whole point.
Right.
Yes, it's more precise.
Yeah,
Makes
exactly.
sense.
Yeah, not the
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great stuff. It's a great story, Joe.
Yeah. We're constantly trying to build it up. So every time that, like I said, every time that you have feedback, just let us know and we'll keep adding features. I think I was designing a little bit during one of the breaks in the sessions today and always adding features to the app.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, Joe, what's the best way for them to get?
I'll just go to our website, so leadscoutapp.com. And you'll get everything you need there. You can get a demo from me or somebody else on the sales team. We got a growing team, lots of W-2s now. So that's something we're continuing to grow. So yeah, you can absolutely get a demo. There's a few videos on the website. We go into great detail there too if you want to check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lead Scout.
Mention this, and we'll give you some sort of deal too.
Nice.
Yeah, high five.
Maybe a high five. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to put Storm in it, so
There you go.
you'll know where it
Code.
comes from.
There we go.
Yeah, code.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Storm or shift.
There we go.
There you go.
Shift.
Yeah. Good job.
We should probably mention a little bit about the conference. And I mean, Ty, you know a lot of people here. Either
Why
you
don't
spoke earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spoke here. Tell us.
Yeah.
tell us about it.
It's been incredible. You know, I have already kind of been through a lot of conferences and stuff like that. And so I'm kind of selective just because, you know, I have 3 kids, I work, yada, yada. This has been exactly what I needed to personally just refill myself.
And the conference, just to be clear, I don't know if you've even said the name this far, right? So Storm into the new era.
Yeah,
Storm into
we
the new
did put their
era.
logo up.
Great,
Oh, there you
excellent. So
go.
there's a
Yep.
link in the description and all that stuff.
Yeah, shift, humility, tenacity, faith, tenacity. I don't know what the I is, but
Yes.
it's been good. It's been
Yes.
we've had powerhouse. I mean,
Speakers, yes.
Tommy Harris just blew my mind. I don't know how many times I've cried. I know I'm a chick, but I've been crying a lot today. I mean, these guys have. It's been incredible. I feel I needed to get personally filled up. I am constantly pouring out. You know how it is.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I was on my closet in tears the night before we flew out here just because I was like, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I just feel encouraged and
Yes,
edified and
yes.
I stepped into your session for a moment. It was a session for the women in the audience. I wasn't allowed to be there. I stepped in for a second and then I backed away but what I saw was really you were sharing some really intimate details about your journey and your story and everything, and people were rocked
yeah.
to your story.
Yeah. It's a pretty
really
gnarly, my whole testimony is pretty gnarly. And I'm pretty vulnerable and transparent with it because I just feel so incredibly grateful. They were talking about that, a spirit of gratitude. Like you can't really go wrong if you're always grateful. I'm not saying I don't have times where I'm like, but I mean, my heart for what God has done in my life and my business and my family, I can't not share my struggles, the struggles that made me feel, like a failure, stupid, whatever, to hopefully make some other people realize that they're not alone and feel encouraged and see that, golly, my life is not that bad. If she could overcome that, I can overcome this. There's hope, just all the things. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was cool. I felt honored to have been able to share.
Yeah, I heard good things about it. I heard you had people crying and everything over there. And an impactful story allows people to know that they're not by themselves. You know what I mean? So many of us are walking around here thinking that, what am I going to do? I have nobody to talk to. I'm the only one that's ever experienced this before. But with somebody like you getting so raw and opening up and being very intimate like that allows other women to put their guard down. I mean, I know men or women, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We put a shield up,
Yeah.
And we don't usually tend, I don't like people in general, for the most part. So it's kind of like I always put a wall up, you know what I mean? I kind of like keep myself to myself. And then once I get to know you, then I can finally open up to you. I just have always been that way. I've always been real tight-lipped. It was just the way that I was raised. And it's really tough for me to open up until I hear your story and it's like, wow, I can really relate to that. I've done the same thing. I felt that same exact way. And it's much easier to open up, especially at things like this, not to a random stranger, although sometimes it is easier to just open up to a stranger on the street, right? But I guess a lot of the times it has to do with where I'm at in my headspace too.
Yeah.
And like you said, to just come to something like this to get replenished, to get re-energized and put down, that wall and, and be around other people in our industry and not necessarily anyone that's our worthy rivals either. And that's what's really cool too. Not that I even really give a shit about that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool to be over here in Denver right now because I don't even know if there's anybody. Actually, there's a dude from the Poconos, right, really north of us.
There?
Yeah, but
yeah, it's like whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I didn't.
Yeah.
But and we were talking, and they knew the same people that we knew in the same areas that we knew, and it's like that was cool.
Yeah.
So we connected right away.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So
I had a guy come up to me and introduce himself, and his shirt said Houston's premier roofing company. So I had to give him a hard time, like, really, buddy?
Of
Nah.
course.
But yeah, no, totally. It's different environment,
it is.
Houston's a
like-minded.
big town.
It's
You'll
huge.
be
Oh, please. There's so much opportunity there. It's crazy.
That's right.
But yeah, no, this has been great.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Vic, do you want to finish this off?
Yeah, so number one, I just want to say I missed the part that you were from Texas. So being 2 years in and the pace that you're going in probably one of the toughest places to have a roofing business. You guys are shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow with a lot of different contractors, and also a lot of guys that kind of give the roofing industry a bad name.
Yes.
Out there doing slimy shit. So, and I'm not hating on any of my Texas guys because you know that we love you, all you Texas guys down there that are for the industry and everything. There's a lot of good people that come out of that state, but there's also a lot of bad shit that goes on down there too.
There is,
because of all the storm damage and everything, and the potential for manipulation and stuff that goes on. So just kudos to you for sticking out, and I really think that you're on the right path. One thing that a local guy has said before, and Ty, I know that you've heard me say this a couple times. Don't hire people that are specialized in areas that are really smart and then tell them what to do. Let them be themselves. Let them be great. And there's a reason that you brought them in there, because they're smarter than you in a certain thing. So let them be great. Don't give them a task list to do every day. You know what I mean? Let them spread their wings and do great things for you. But I'm really happy to hear that everything's going great out there, man. I'm sorry that I had to miss it, but I got so much stuff coming up here in the next couple months, man. We had to hang tight and keep the ship rocking back here. So that's really all I got, man. I hope that Eric had a great conference, man. From what it sounds like, everything was great. We got TJ's thing coming up here in 2 days. We got that 12-hour stream, so we're getting ready to rock and roll for that. I want to shout out the TC Backer team for keeping the ship running tight while the boss is gone, and shout out Javier and David for they're in Florida right now, and Vic,
and John.
Yeah, and John. Everyone headed to Florida to get everything ready to rock and roll for this stream on Friday.
We sent our really super smart people to Florida to get set up. Yeah, so
that's why we're here. That's why two of us are here.
So listen, this is how simple I am. Okay, so this has been a very humbling experience for me, because I've never sent the team into battle without me being side by side with them and battling shit down. So, and this may even sound arrogant, I don't even know, but we've sent our guys down there with our entire studio, and I'm here. So basically, I get to show up, they hand me the mic, and I get to play the fucking lead singer.
I mean, it sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah,
but I can't. I'm struggling with that, because they will tell you that. Yeah. Not that I even get to do that. You know what I mean? It's not gonna. I don't even know if I'll even be in front of the camera. I'll probably be behind it, but still, it's like they're like,
dude, it's
so smart.
It's never ever happened, man. We've done numerous home shows where we've drugged people, weekend to weekend to weekend. Middle of the week, man, we're still banging on all cylinders, keeping the business running. And then you're working 17, 18 hours a day, setting stuff up behind the scenes. You're always right there getting your feet, your hands dirty and keeping us motivated, man. That's why everyone works so damn hard for you, bro.
Thank you very much. I love you guys.
Bro.
I love you. Thank you very much.
Love you, man.
Yeah, this isn't.
But yeah, man, this has been great. I'm enjoying myself. This is one of my first shows that I've been away from you on. I mean, there's been a couple, but it's not very many. Not very many that we don't get to be in the same room together. So it's kind of weird, but it's been a great show, man. Joe, it was great seeing you again. I hope
thanks for having me on,
man. You gonna be at RoofCon?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Awesome.
You want to ask?
Take your hand
to them. Your $1 million question.
Yeah. So we have a question that we ask all of our guests. Running a business and everything, man. Heather, I'm going to start with you. When with running a business and being an entrepreneur, people are motivated by different things. What motivates you, and not motivates you to show up, but show up and put your best foot forward and perform at a high level. What drives you and motivates you to the core?
It's going to be a very unconventional answer. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Breaking generational cycles of dysfunction in my family. So I am totally legacy driven. My 19-year-old son is my, on-site quality control manager. He manages the jobs I sell. I am building what I'm building and motivated so that I can create a legacy with my children and start some new things.
Amen.
it's really easy to show up when it's that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, great answer.
It's still not easy.
No.
It's
Well,
still. I mean, listen, you got challenges no matter what, man. I don't
yeah,
care what it says, man. Everyone loves their kids to death, but doesn't mean that everyone's.
you're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
I still struggle putting this thing down every day when I get home.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? I'm present. I make sure that I'm here. I don't miss soccer games. I don't miss, extracurricular activities. But I tell you what, I answer the damn email when it comes in, and I struggle with that.
Yeah, me too, man.
Hard. It's hard to do. And Ty, I know you'll back me up on that, man. That shit is hard to do. It's hard, and we all struggle with stuff. So it's definitely not easy, because if it was easy, everyone would do it, and there would be no need for any of this stuff.
That's right.
Joe, what about you, man? What drives and motivates you?
You've had me on this show before. You've asked me that question before. And I think the last time I said, and this still holds true, I wake up every morning. I love to solve problems, and I think that's what's driven me in my career. I've dove deep. Like I said, I come from software design. I've dove deep into insurance agencies. I've dove deep into healthcare, education, Coca-Cola, soft drinks, anything. But if it's a problem to be solved and a business to build, I love it. So that's what drives me when it comes to work. But I'm going to change my answer and say now, really what I'm into these days is getting one step closer to the day I can kind of set it to the side, hang out with my kids, and go garden some carrots, to be honest. Just spend time in a backyard gardening.
Gardening some carrots, third book.
Hell
That's your trilogy right there.
I'm a huge garden nerd, if you ever want to talk to me about that stuff.
No doubt. Good episode.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for having me.
That was
Appreciate it.
awesome. We will definitely have you on again.
Wonderful.
And Joe. Ask Joe.
Yeah, please do.
We love bringing people back. So, even in a couple months, we want to hear where you're at now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if your perspective has changed, or what great things you have accomplished, and I know you're going to accomplish great things. So just hang tight, keep banging your head against the wall, and pick yourself back up, and keep punching the earth in the face, and do what you got to do every morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it
Yeah.
very much.
Thanks for having us, Ty.
I want to make one note real quick. This is the first behind the Toolbelt episode since Vic went behind the ones and twos that Vic is not a part and not present in some sort of way, controlling something or doing something. So shout out to Vic.
Yes.
For always being there, always being the backbone behind the scenes. He doesn't get anywhere near enough credit for what he does to make this run smoothly. But my man is already headed down to Florida to make sure that runs smoothly. So shout out to you, Vic. I don't want to forget you.
Yes, thank you for bringing it up, Vic. And I'm sure he's watching.
Yeah, he is. Well, I just seen him comment, and I was like, "Fuck, man, Vic."
Yeah, don't forget him. Don't forget him. And his trooper of a wife, Tina, that puts up with our shit. Not just his, but our shit.
Yes, absolutely. All the wives and girlfriends and stuff that co-sign all of our shit, man, because this is a full-time job for them too.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Good seeing you, Chris.
Yes, good seeing you guys. Nice meeting you, Joe. I hope to shake your hand at RoofCon, buddy.
Oh yeah.
We'll see you in 2 months, man.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.